Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and today is 1 Ounce Wednesday. Typically, on 1 Ounce Wednesday, I do it completely blind. I pick a blind sample out of a box, and I review it so that it's a totally blind review. But guess what? Not every Wednesday is your typical Wednesday. Today on 1 Ounce Wednesday, thanks to Mr. Bill friggin' Kavanaugh, we are going to taste and review the brand new 2022 George T. Stagg. Whew. Here it is. This son of a bee is 138.7 proof, 15 years old, from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. This came in at number 3 on Fred Minnick's top 100 bourbons of 2022. In order for it to make my list in 2022, I would have to be able to acquire a bottle of it. And unfortunately, it won't be eligible for my whiskey of the year. I don't anticipate this being anything but great, but is it as good as everybody says it is? America. After a 1-year hiatus, George T. Stagg is back, baby, and it's coming back with a vengeance. Almost 139 proof with a 15-year age statement. Buffalo Trace just busting out the big guns for this 2022 BTAC. Have I ever owned a bottle of George T. Stagg? No, I have not. I have not. Fun fact, the only bottle of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection I've ever owned in my entire life, the one and only bottle I've ever owned, is a 2011 Thomas H. Handy that I got from my main man, Jack Johnson. Shout out Jack Johnson. A lot of people just assume that since I have a whiskey channel and since I'm the 2020 world's top whiskey taster, that I have the availability to get all these bottles that other people aren't able to get. Wrong. I don't own any of the really incredibly allocated stuff. I've never owned a Pappy. I've never owned a King of Kentucky. I've never owned a BTAC, aside from the 2011 Handy that was a gift. So all of the crazy bottles that you crazy buggers are able to procure, you're better than me, because I can't get them. Let's go in for the nose of this 2022 George T. Stagg. Dark cherry. This is a very prevalent Buffalo Trace nose. It smells like a dark cherry, sweet vanilla, oaky Buffalo Trace product. It smells very good. If you've ever smelled Buffalo Trace or a Weller product, if you've ever smelled an E.H. Taylor or an Eagle Rare, they all sort of share the same kind of like cherry, vanilla, sweet oak nose. And that's what this smells like if that nose took like, I don't know, $11,000 a month worth of human growth hormone, or bourbon growth hormone for that matter. Shout out Liver King. But you don't know how good it's gonna be until you actually put it in your mouth. And that's something that goes far beyond the world of whiskey, if you know what I mean. Wow. That is a powerful, sweet, delicious, aggressive, yet gentle lover. And I love it. The 138.7 proof really kind of shines through and is like, hey, listen, bitch, it's me, George T. Stagg. And this year, I'm a little bit more powerful than normal. So therefore, you're gonna shut your mouth and I'm gonna do whatever I want to your face. And then it went ahead and did that to my face. So the proof really shines through. The age, the 15-year age statement, doesn't like overwhelm you with oak, but it is kind of like a well-rounded oak mixed with that dark cherry and cinnamon. This bourbon is divine. And if I've never said a bourbon is divine before, it's because I usually don't use the word divine. Unless, of course, I'm talking about 2022 George T. Stagg, in which case, divine. After the first sip, I can see why Fred Minnick loved it so much. It kind of does all the things you want a well-rounded barrel strength extra aged bourbon to do. Add on top of that the Buffalo Trace flavor profile, and it's kind of like an NBA 2K creative player with 99 stats all across the board. It's just friggin' talented. Sip number 2, here we go. It's weird because it hits on every note except the deep dark note. This kind of reminds me of Jack Daniel's Coy Hill Small Batch, or even Jack Daniel's Coy Hill Single Barrel, except for the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill has an extra layer, an extra dark layer of dark fruits and anger that kind of like swells up different parts of your mouth and makes you rethink life a little bit longer. The George T. Stagg, I would say, is a little bit more approachable for near 140 proof. It has a little bit more oak on it. It's a tiny bit sweeter. Man, 2022 George T. Stagg is as good as people say. It is a remarkable bourbon. It does all the things that you want a barrel strength Buffalo Trace product with this type of age statement to do to your face. It does all those things so well. And for that reason, on this 1 ounce Wednesday, George T. Stagg 2022 receives a score from me of 9.2. It's a 9.2. Some of the best I've ever friggin' had. But, like I said, unfortunately, since I can't get a bottle of it, it can't make a list. In order to be on one of my best of lists, I have to be able to get a bottle. Otherwise, what's the point? No matter how good it is, if I can't get a bottle of it, so sorry. But it is probably one of the best of 2022, for sure. That's gonna do it for this 1 ounce Wednesday. Thank you again, Bill Kavanaugh, for sending me just some of the craziest samples. I friggin' love you, dude. Amazing sample, 2022 GTS. Kind of blew my mind. It was very, very freaking good. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. All of those things are supposed to help the channel. Leave a comment below. What was your favorite bourbon of 2022? And tell me how you can never get 2022 George T. Stagg just like me. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on maybe rethinking a channel name. I've been rethinking this channel a little bit. It's a brand new year. Should I just call myself the Whiskey King? The Whiskey King. Wouldn't that be a fun channel name? ADHD Whiskey is kind of like what this whole channel is, right? But the Whiskey King sounds kind of like maybe better, right? Doesn't it? Like I could wear a crown, like I'm Ronald McDonald or whatever.